Hey everyone, welcome to Unit 1 of English 1302. Just as a reminder, I want to make sure that you're paying attention to the dates that you see on your Canvas page and not in this video. So for this video, I'm going to go over everything that you need to know for Unit 1 Social Class. I'm in the Modules page on Canvas, which should make everything really simple. Everything else that I'm going to show you, you can access through different pages like the syllabus, files, pages, but it's all collected nice and neat right here in the modules page. So I'm just going to click this drop down menu for Unit 1 and I'm going to click on Social Class Intro. Okay, here we go. Social Class Intro. So this unit will read an engaging and intriguing short story by George Saunders, one of my all-time favies. It's called Puppy, which sounds really nice and sweet, doesn't it? Get ready. So after exploring the story, you're going to watch some videos from Crash Course. You're going to have a deeper understanding of what social class means within America. And as you go through all these texts and resources, I want you to think about the two primary characters in the story. And that's important to know. A lot of students get confused with this story because they're reading it and they're thinking, okay, wait, the main character was doing one thing and now they're doing something completely different. Not true. There are two main characters. One is wealthier and one is not as wealthy. Keep that in mind. So there's a shifting perspective that's happening there. And these two main characters, they fundamentally do not understand each other. And my question to you is, why? As you're watching these videos, reading the story this week, that's what I want you to think about. Why do they not understand each other? Do you think it's a lack of understanding? Or is this some sort of difference, this bridge that we cannot mend between wealthy and the poor? Do you think this is something in Saunders' own mind, or do you think this is real? Do you think there's actually a gap between the wealthy and the poor? And what does this mean for you? How is your own socioeconomic context? And what I mean by socioeconomic context is your life in terms of your social surroundings, your environment, your neighborhood, where you live, as well as your own economic standing, how much money you and your family is bringing in. How does that impact the way that you see other people and the ways that you see the world? Now use all of these questions, all of these resources to lead you into a well thought out discussion board post. That's what I'm looking for here, okay? So if you need help, please make sure that you email me or that you visit Google Hangouts if you need more assistance. Remember, I'll be on Google Hangouts on my computer between 12 and 2 every day. If you need help outside of those times, you can try. I can't promise that I'll respond, or you can set up a time to where I can meet with you more specifically. Okay? So here is just a very tentative schedule for you this week. So for the first day, complete the introductions, discussion, and comments, and you might have a different schedule based off of your class. So once again, just pay attention to what's going on. Watch the Crash Course videos, read Puppy again. That way you're really going to understand it. Sometimes I have students that feel like they don't quite understand it the first read through, and that's fine. Read it again, maybe Google it, see if you can get some more interpretations that can help you out. Compose your initial post for the Puppy discussion board, compose your comment for the discussion Puppy board, and then for the last day, if you have time, watch TV. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and go to the next page. I'm just going to click next. What I really like about all of this is that you're able to do everything in a nice consequential order. So once again, if you haven't done this already before class started, I would really love for you to do the introductions discussion board posts, to where you're telling me a little bit about you, your concerns for the class, things that you're interested in. If you're brave enough, a picture of you. This is my family, by the way. I've given you an example post of things that you can say, as well as an example comment that I would like for you to leave on one of your peers, just so we have some class interaction going on. And once people start posting, you'll start to see different threads being populated below, which is pretty cool. Okay? And you won't be able to see those until you post initially. Keep that in mind. That happens a lot with discussion board posts. Students think like, well, I'll just see what Bill says on his discussion board. But that you can't do that. You've got to think originally. Okay? All right, so once you've done that, once you've made your initial discussion board post and a comment, go ahead and click next. And you can always come back to these things too, like if you're not finished. So these are the 3 videos that I want you to watch from Crash Course. So the first one is Social Class and Poverty in the United States. Get a deeper understanding of what's going on there. The impacts of social class, thinking about how this idea of the wealthy and the working class, how that kind of shapes our culture around us, and also social mobility. Social mobility is the ability of our society to move within these social classes. So if you are from the working class, can you move up to kind of a wealthier class? Those types of questions. Okay, so make sure you watch all three of those. They're pretty short to give you a deeper understanding of what's happening here. And it'll definitely give you some context for the story, which is bada boom, right here. If you want to, you can download the PDF. I just went to the website and basically print to PDF is what I did. So that's why you got ads and things that are on the side. So no big deal. So you can also go full size if it's kind of weird to read it like this. So I want you to read through the story. Keep in mind, like I said earlier, there are two primary characters here. You have one from a more working class background. Well, actually, background, that's a little bit different. Their reality in the moment. One is more of a working class citizen, and the other one is definitely more of a wealthier citizen. Okay? So read through that story. I would encourage you to read through it a couple times, especially if you feel like you don't understand it. So don't panic and read it once and email me and be like, Professor Heaton, I don't understand. What do I do? I'll say, student, watch the video and see what I said. And the answer is, read it again. Google Puppy by George Saunders, interpretation, things like that. You have the internet at your disposal. Just Google around. Okay? So once you've read the story, here is the assignment. Okay. So this week, your guiding question for your discussion board, which means the guiding question is almost like the prompt. These are the things that you need to answer. You have to answer this question in order to get full credit. How does our social class influence how we view the world? And I want you to argue that point using George Saunders' Puppy. Okay? So your social class, in terms of your neighborhood, your environment, the money that you make, how do those things contribute to the way that we view the world? And your opinion might be that it doesn't. I'd be interested to hear that opinion, but you can make it. All right. So after you've explored all these resources, you've thought critically about the information you've absorbed, you're going to craft a detailed, planned response to the reading. So make sure to answer the guiding question using quoted text evidence. Look at me. Look at me in my beautiful chocolate eyes. Use the text. Quote the text. Quote the text. Quote the text. Quote the text. So one of the primary things that we said is our goal for this class is to have unique, creative ideas and to communicate them effectively, right? And one of the best ways that you can communicate ideas grounded in a story effectively is to use the words of the story. And something I want to encourage you to do is if you give a quote, make sure that you're providing context as well. What happened in that scene? Who said it? Why did they say it? Things like that. And I'll give you some hints and help there in a second. So if it helps, feel free to use the template below in order to flex those writing muscles. Okay, this might freak you out a little bit. You can literally copy and paste that. Does that make you feel weird? Does it make you feel like you're cheating? I get that. I understand that. This is a template that I have designed for you, student. It will help you. If it feels like cheating, it's not. What this template is going to do, it's going to show you how to flex your writing muscles. What I have found is that my students generally are completely brilliant. They're thinking very, very well. They just haven't had the tools to show them how to use those thoughts and ideas correctly. It's like if you were going to change the oil on your car and someone just said, go do it. But no one's ever shown you how to do it. What tools do you use? What's the process that you go about? What goes first? What goes next? You don't have those tools in some areas of writing, or you might not. I don't want to make assumptions about anyone. You might be already a brilliant, accomplished academic writer. So what these templates are going to do through the discussion board posts is they're going to show you the tools. Things about transitioning, introducing quotes, having strong, effective topic and thesis sentences, things like that. So that way when you get to your essay, you flex those muscles a little bit and you can write on your own. So these are almost like training wheels. And then slowly we're going to take them off. And once again, if that makes you feel a little bit weird, like you're cheating a little bit, just relax, just relax. It's just training. It's just training. Almost always students come into my office and they say, Professor Heaton, I'm so bad at writing. I'm so bad. You're not bad at writing. Oftentimes, in the way that English education is worked throughout high school and middle school, and this is not the fault of your middle school and high school teachers, because I was one, you've got to pass that daggum STAR test. And there's different things that you haven't learned or haven't learned too well, and we're just working on that right now. So don't panic about the template. If you want to scrap the template, you can. Just make sure that you are using the text evidence and that you're answering the prompt, the guiding question specifically. Okay? Now, you must also respond to at least one classmate by assessing what their overall argument was. So you have to do a good job of recounting their argument. Okay? And a great way to do this is just to quote them. Quote them. When you said, quote, blah, 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 end quote, I think X. Right? That is a great way to summarize their argument. Just quote them. Quote them. Quote them. Will that take more work from you? Honestly, no. I don't think it will. Just copy and paste it. Okay? Now, make sure to address the argument of your peer. Like I said, quote them. Give your opinion of the argument. You think they are right or wrong. Okay? And then give me specific real-world examples to support your opinion. I think you are wrong when you said X because blank. I agree with you when you said X because. And be specific here. Don't say things like, I agree that social class structures can negatively impact the way we view people of a different social class because rich people stink or poor people are weird, right? Those are offensive statements, by the way. Don't say things like that. Be specific. Can you give me experiences that you have? A real world example. Be specific. Always remember, specifics stimulate and generalities bore. Specifics stimulate, generalities bore. How can you make your writing more specific? Okay? Now, if you want to get full credit for this assignment, you've got to demonstrate that you've given a significant effort, right? English is the most BSable subject. You can try to use your word, and some of you will be very successful at this, right? You can be successful in making me think that you know what you're talking about. Maybe. I kind of think I've got a pretty good BS meter, and sometimes when it's going off, that can often hurt your grade if I feel like you're just making stuff up or giving me fluff. Make sure that you're proofreading for grammatical and syntactical errors, for fluidity. Does your writing make sense? What I do, and y'all, I teach this stuff. I have my wife look over things that I submit, things that I email, because there's just something about the way our brains are wired that we don't catch errors that we write. I don't know why. That's just how it is. So have someone else read it over, a friend, a sibling, a parent. You have to reveal that you have a thorough understanding of the text, right? So it's not just surface level understanding to where you say, well, Callie was mean and Marie was bad, right? Give me a deeper understanding of what's going on here, okay? And I just made that stuff up, so don't copy me what I just said there. Show me that you're actually thinking about the text, that you've wrestled with it a little bit, maybe that you've read it twice, you've thought about it for an evening, okay? You must have a minimum of 200 words for your initial post. That's not much at all, especially considering the template, right? That's not saying you're going to get an A if you write 200 words. I'm just saying that is the minimum. That is the bare minimum. And you must have a 100-word comment to one of your peers. That is the minimum, the bare minimum. That doesn't mean you're getting an A. That is the minimum. Okay? All right. So I believe that is that'll take us to the next module, actually. Don't read about gender yet. That's for next module. So that's everything that's going on for this unit. So just as a friendly reminder, make sure that you finish your discussion board post and the comment, as well as your introduction discussion board post and comment before the end date of Unit 1, and you'll be doing just fine. All right? Get in touch with me if you need any help. I would love to assist you in any way that I can. Have a delightful, wonderful, enchanting unit, and I will be sending you videos periodically throughout the unit to help you with the writing process. All right, bye.